So the 6-inch scale G.I. Joe Classified Series toy line is about to become a Hasbro Pulse only exclusive toy line. What does that mean for the brand? What does it mean for you as a collector? Let's discuss. Stay tuned.
Come with me, toy fans.
Hey toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of the G.I. Joe Classified series in the beginning, and I was really disappointed about that fact because I had been asking for a 6-inch scaled G.I. Joe toy line for several years. You know, it was the 6-inch scale is the new scale of hotness. It's what everybody collects these days. Legends, G.I. Joe, Black Series, everything's in 6-inch. And I wanted to see G.I. Joe in that scale. But the initial offerings were pretty bad. However, the tide has turned. Recent releases such as Spirit here and Crocmaster. I've got Storm Shadow up there. Storm Shadow, he's awesome. I really like the new direction that the design team has taken with the G.I. Joe line. These are awesome figures and I keep meaning to review these figures ever since Hasbro sent them to me for free. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's get into it. Depending on where you're situated around the world, all of us action figure collectors tend to have a preference when it comes to online retailers that we use to buy our action figure products from. Be it Big Bad Toy Store, Dorkside Toys, or one of the more popular ones in the UK is InDemand Toys. And today on social media, InDemand Toys made this statement. Sadly, G.I. Joe is now a Pulse only line, so our stock offerings on this line will be import stock only. We were really disappointed in this news and the decision that was made. To confirm, it is all G.I. Joe which is Pulse exclusive, nothing else. So if this social media post is to be believed, and I don't see why it wouldn't be, it seems as though the G.I. Joe Classified line is now only going to be available through Hasbro Pulse. For international buyers, this is a real kind of smack in the chops because Hasbro Pulse is only available to the US and Canada, the United Kingdom, and 4 countries in Europe, which include Austria, Italy, and 2 others. Europe. For my fellow collectors here in Australia, you're pretty much screwed. You've got to get yourself a US forwarding address, buy it from Hasbro Pulse, and then pay an extortionate amount in shipping. I mean, I imagine for every action figure, G.I. Joe action figure that you buy, the shipping's going to cost the same amount as the figure, if not more. For US collectors of this toy line, probably won't make much of a difference because I know most of you can't find this stuff in toy stores anyway, so maybe you just go over to Hasbro Pulse. But if you're not happy with the Hasbro Pulse website and you, as I mentioned earlier, have a preferred retailer, if you prefer to deal with Big Bad Toy Store or Dorkside as opposed to Hasbro Pulse, you're not going to have that choice anymore. You've got to go to Hasbro Pulse and Hasbro Pulse only. This change is also a way for Hasbro to maximize their profit margin because when they sell to companies like Big Bad Toy Store and whether, I don't know if they do Forbidden Planet in the UK, Dorkside, whoever it is, these online retailers buy in quantity, and because they buy in quantity, they get the items at a wholesale price. But by doing away with that and saying, no, G.I. Joe is only going to be sold through Hasbro Pulse, they are maximizing their profits. And I would like to see, alongside this announcement, an announcement from Hasbro that they're going to be reducing the price, the retail price of G.I. Joe Classified figures. But you know damn well they won't do that. With a multitude of pre-ordered action figures stacking up, which are still yet to be delivered to the consumer, and more pre-orders constantly being announced, I am very disappointed by Hasbro's decision to go Hasbro Pulse only with this line. At San Diego Comic-Con, it was revealed quite a large number of pipeline reveals with some many sought after characters such as Shipwreck, Torpedo, and of course, Serpentor. But the only way you'll be able to buy these figures in the future is through Hasbro Pulse. You won't be able to go to your preferred retailer. Something about this all seems quite suspect to me. What could it be? Well, I think this is a good indication that Hasbro is well aware that the G.I. Joe brand is nowhere near as popular and it probably doesn't sell the same, anywhere near the same quantities as Star Wars or Marvel. And while the brand is clearly doing well, personally, I think the products that they're putting out between Star Wars Black Series, Marvel Legends, and G.I. Joe Classifieds, for me, G.I. Joe Classifieds is the front runner at the moment. That is the design team that is putting out the best product available from that company right now. But I just don't see that the fan base is as big as Marvel or Star Wars. Evidenced by the fact that a lot of my fellow collectors in the United States say that they never ever see these figures available for sale at retail, other than perhaps those dogshit figures from the Snake Eyes Origins movie, but who gives a crap about those? So while this brand is coming out with some really good product, and collectors seem to be very happy with it, and everything seems to sell out, I don't think they're selling enough quantities to warrant putting this line, or continuing to put this line, into retail stores. So from Hasbro's perspective, I guess it kind of makes sense to make this online only. But I don't think it should be Hasbro Pulse online only. I do believe that the consumer should be given the opportunity to use some other preferred online retailers, whether it be Big Bad Toy Store, Dorkside, or whoever your preference is in the United Kingdom, Australia, and elsewhere. But what do you, the G.I. Joe Classified Series collector, think about this announcement? I would love to hear from you. Jot down your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the G.I. Joe Classified Series 6-inch scale toy line becoming a Hasbro Pulse only exclusive line? Let me know. So thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I've done a few other rants about G.I. Joe Classifieds, and you can click the links up here, or subscribe to the channel here, or join the Patreon, or do none of that stuff. Whatever. Who cares? Yo, Joe.